A bone marrow transplant was just a dream for most Ugandans, an unreachable treatment reserved for those who could afford to travel abroad. But last Friday, April 24th, 2026, history was made.
I'm now able walking, working, driving, going everywhere, even at my village.
Stephen Sunday became Uganda's first-born marrow transplant patient thanks to a dedicated team at the Uganda Cancer Institute. At the heart of this breakthrough is Dr. Clement Okello, a man whose journey also began in a small village in Karamoja. Once drawn to the priesthood, he followed his passion for science, eventually earning a degree at Makerere University and specialized training abroad.
Our patient has been discharged to go back home. That is a controlled environment. We do not expect lots of visitors one visit here, and worst of it will be the crowd, the celebration that the patient is already healed and cured. No, that's not what we expect. We expect our patient Sunday to go and protect himself out in the public. He has to wear a mask when he's in the public. He has to minimize his contact with the crowd. And so by the time that we will discharge him to the public, that will be after he has completed all the vaccination. Sunday, our patient is actually a brand new patient. His immune system is so weak as to compare him with a newborn baby. And remember that the newborn baby, once they are born, they get a drop of vaccine in the mouth, and then they get injected even before they leave the delivery room. And so that is our patient. We have discharged him out as not even received a single shot of the immunization. So after a minimum period of about 3 months, some people will start even vaccination at 6 months. So that is when he begins now his schedule to get a vaccination. Right now what he has is really a very fragile patient.
Alongside Dr. Okello is Dr. Henry Dungu, a seasoned hematologist with decades of dedication. His work in hematology laid the groundwork for this milestone.
This patient was treated for a condition called multiple myeloma, and his diagnosis was made about 7 months ago. And when he gave his story, it's a disease that had really debilitated him. He had become bedridden, and then he moved to a wheelchair until when he stabilized. And it is after this that we have now gone into transplanting him with his own stem cells. Multiple myeloma patients are quite many, but not all of them qualify for a bone marrow transplant. A person qualifies when, of course, the disease has been cleared, but also we look at the functionality of the patient. We used to say that if you're above 60 years, then we don't do a transplant. But now we look at how strong you are. Even if you are 70, if you are strong and you perform well, we can say you qualify for transplant.
And leading the nursing team, Rita Bafumba Mliowa, whose skill and compassion guided Stephen through every step: preparation, chemotherapy and recovery.
At every point, my role is key. So from consent, then we go to where we mobilize the stem cells. We make sure these stem cells come from the bone marrow into the system where we'll be able to collect them. So also that is done by the nurse. So when we are done with mobilizing the stem cells, then we go to collecting the stem cells. Now that procedure, that apheresis procedure, is completely a nursing procedure. The doctor will just prescribe it, but from start to end, that procedure takes about 6 hours. But it is all run by the nurse. The patient is monitored by the nurses. The machine is run by the nurses. So we work as a team.
In the lab, Dr. Sylvester Kahumbula ensured every scientific step was precise, adapting international best practices to fit Uganda's context.
The BMT team, like I said, I'm the team leader for the laboratory science who have worked in establishing the bone marrow transplant protocols 2, preparing all the required logistics to make sure we comfortably carry out the process. 3, establishing the protocols that we've been following. Other people call them standard operating procedures, because here we really believe it is what we document that we do, and it is what we do that we document, because any mishap can actually cause problems. So establishing all that one, then from my individual capacity, bring an interest in this young team of scientists.
My the specific role as a pharmacist was to handle the complex high-dose chemotherapy, which was used to kind of lower the immunity of the patient prior to the transplant. Another role which we had to play, because of the high dose, it means the patient was actually prone to getting medicine toxicity. So we had to come together with the team and ensure that the patient does not experience toxicity, which means there were some prophylactic medications that we had to give to the patient.
And so, it is this extraordinary team, doctors, nurses, scientists who have redefined what is impossible in Uganda. Together, they have brought a dream to life, one that once seemed impossible. This team didn't just perform a medical fast, they ignited a movement. And in their courage and collaboration, Uganda steps boldly into a new era of medical excellence.
I am glad and excited that you have all seen the transplant team, and all of them are Ugandans. Born in Uganda, made in Uganda. I'm sure you did not see any different color from Ugandans. So for me as the Minister for Health, I am extremely proud of this new milestone, and I want to congratulate Sandy Stephen for being very brave and accepting to have his bone marrow transplant undertaken here in Uganda. What would have cost over $30,000 for the transplant only, here in Uganda, our team spent $15,000 treating him. He did not pay. Government of Uganda paid for all his costs for him to have this transplant. Now this resonates well with what His Excellency the President has been continuously telling us. Reduce referrals abroad, because you can do these things on your own.
New Vision TV. Stream smart, stream New Vision.